I'm John White. Today we're going to be talking about some common yard and garden questions that we get. And one of the big ones this time of year, and hopefully you're watching out for it, is spider mite. And this is a pyracantha that we're looking at. And pyracantha should have a dark green leaf color to it. And what we're seeing is kind of a dusty tan appearance. It's beginning to lose the green out of the leaf. And this is from the spider mite feeding on the leaf. It's taken the chlorophyll out of the leaf and beginning to brown it off. So in order to get this plant greened up again, we're going to have to do something to take care of the mite problem. We can spray with a miticide, or we can use a soap and water spray, probably on about a 2 to 3 day schedule as far as the soap and water spray. This will not green up what's already brown, but it will keep the new foliage from turning brown. It'll keep the mites off of it. Usually pyracanthas are planted up against a wall or a building wall, rock wall, and those walls develop a lot of heat, give off a lot of heat. So this mite loves it when it's hot and dry. We're beginning to warm up. We're moving into spring. Things are beginning to warm up, and it's still very, very dry. So this mite is beginning to show its face now on different things. So here's what the problem looks like. One way you can detect it is to take just a white piece of paper, bang it out on the paper, and then you'll look for some very, very tiny dots like little grains of sand that'll start moving, and those are the actual mites. You can see them with the naked eye, but they are very, very small. But this is the way you can detect them. You can also take your hand and just rub the paper, and if you have some little smears on the paper, then you do have spider mite. So again, soap and water spray on about a 2 to 3 day schedule will take care of this problem. Another problem that we're seeing here a little bit in the spring, and this is a good time to try and treat for it. We've got next couple months, this problem might be showing up on different landscape plants, and again, the spring is a good time to treat it. This is a dwarf Juponica Ilex vomitoria. This one has a iron deficiency starting to show up a little bit on the outside of it here. This is not real severe, and you don't have the true chlorosis on the leaves like you see on other plants, but this can be treated in a couple different ways. It is going to need an iron treatment, some kind of iron supplement. It can either be put on as a foliar spray, or it can be applied to the basal part of the plant and taken up through the roots and hopefully greens the plant up. Since this one is a sheared shrub, you can come in and do a shearing on it to take the yellow off of it and kind of get down into the green. You don't want to go very deep, just an inch or so off of here, and then go ahead and spray it with a foliar iron product, and that'll help to keep the yellow from coming back on it. Some things that can induce an iron deficiency can be overwatering if the ground stays too moist. We've been kind of cool during some of the time here in the southern part of the state, and if there's a lot of moisture around it where you've been watering a little bit heavy, sometimes you can induce an iron deficiency. So you want to look at your watering pattern, but this is the time of year to treat with a foliar iron product, and that'll help green this plant back up. Another problem that we see a lot here on different plants, but one in particular, is the euonymus japonica. And this is our evergreen japonica. It's very common as a hedge plant. You can get it in variegated forms and with different leaf color, but usually the dark green one is the more common japonica. And this white spotting on the leaf is the powdery mildew that we're talking about. It can get severe enough where it just completely turns the whole leaf and the end of the shoot white, and you will get some dieback on that. It is reducing some of the photosynthesis in the plant, but it's quite aesthetically not real pleasing to see. But once it's gotten on the plant this bad, a lot of times it's hard to completely void the plant of the problem. So what you like to do is try and work on it preventatively. This plant, you can see the buds are swelling on. It's getting ready to put on a new flush of growth. So we want to kind of try and get some preventative on. One that can be used easily is baking soda. And we use about a teaspoon of baking soda per gallon of water. Spray it onto the plant. Probably do it on about a 10 day to 14 day schedule. and that'll help to keep some of the mildew off. Any leaves that fall off the plant that are, down here on the ground, those can be sources of spores that can blow back up onto the plant and reinfect the new foliage. So we want to get a good cleanup underneath the plant, take all the dead leaves and foliage that's down on the ground and get it out of the area, because it can come back up. So to keep it from reinfesting, we want to do a good sanitation job. So again, just simple baking soda and water will help to keep this problem under control.